is absent. He is at work. He did notify us. Mr. Perk.
Here.
Mr. Melvin.
Here.
Mr. Pierce.
Here.
Mr. Araby.
Here.
Chairman Otam here. Ms. Chesson.
Here.
Mr. Lorraine.
Here.
And Mr. Orchie Chesson.
I'm here, sir.
All right. Thank you all very much. We good with that, Ms. Rachel? Good. Okay. If everyone would please rise, we'll be led in invocation by Councilman Melvin, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Pierce.
Dear Lord, please be with us as we come to do your will for the betterment of our residents whom we serve in Lafourche Parish. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Like I said, it'll be a little bit different in that we don't have our council clerk who's normally up here to guide us and make sure that we're following the letter of the law with our meetings. With that said, I would ask everyone to please silence your phones or turn them off out of respect for the others here. Also, we'll note that if you plan to speak to the council, to please fill out a blue form that was at the door that you came in at. Get it up here to me. I'll be sure to recognize you. I will ask for public input. You can get up here and speak on whatever you want to speak before the meeting really gets rolling into the actual agenda. When we get to ordinances, I will ask for public inputs 3 times before the council discusses it and goes to vote. When we get to resolutions, it'll be just a discussion among the council before we bring it to vote. With that said, we'll jump right into tonight's meeting. Item A, state and or federal legislative updates. Do we have any legislators here? We have none. Item B, we have none. Item C, proclamation. Number 1, Parish President Orchie Chesson will present a proclamation proclaiming March 2025 as Problem Gambling Awareness Month. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas problem gaming is a treatable public health concern affecting millions of Americans of all ages, races, and ethnic backgrounds in communities causing a significant societal and economic cost. And whereas promoting awareness provides individuals in the problem gambling community an opportunity to educate the public and policymakers about the social and financial effectiveness of services available for problem gambling. And whereas the state offers a myriad of services aimed at treating problem gambling and a toll-free Louisiana problem gambling hotline, 1-877-770-STOP, that answers from those who help seek, and our website aimed at the prevention of problem gambling, www.helpfromgambling.org. And whereas Louisiana was one of the first states to have numerous state-funded programs such as residential treatment facilities, the Center of Recovery Corps in Shreveport, and numerous organizations working together with the Louisiana Department of Health and all statewide districts to address problem gambling. And whereas numerous individuals, professionals, organizations have dedicated their efforts to the education of the public about problem gambling, prevention, and problem gambling, along with the availability and effectiveness of treatment services. Now, therefore, I, Orchie Chesson, Parish President Lafourche, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2025 as Problem Gambling Awareness Month. And yep, we do have somebody. That's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. That brings us to item D, presentations and our updates. I don't think we have any tonight, which brings us to item E, engineers and our architect reports. Hold on, Rachel, you got the mic?
Is it on?
Got it?
Yes.
Yep.
Hello?
She does it remotely.
All right.
You got it.
Joe PCL with PCL and Associates, 115 PCL Parkway and Cutoff. Our first project is the Airport Connector Road and Bridge project. This project's been going on for some time. Sea Level Construction's the contractor. It's a joint project with the Port Commission, LADOTD, FHWA, and LPG. So Sea Level has completed installing all the drainage and all the asphalt roadway work. They've finished the 2 main concrete towers, and they're currently working on the lift span to go in between the 2 towers, off-site fabrication of machinery, and final grading, and then also electrical work. They're running electrical work from the control house up to the towers. We've had some delays in the project due to the machinery fabrication. Currently, their schedule is for completion sometime in July of this year. We're meeting with them again this week to discuss schedule and get an update on that. Next is Hurricane Ida storm damage repairs to the pump stations. This is mainly the Rita pump station project, which is going to install 2 new 24-inch pumps, one with a diesel engine, one with electric motor. Sumps and trash screens. We've completed all the site surveying, permitting, and we've submitted our plans to DPW for review. Once that review is complete, we'll go out for bids, hopefully sometime in March. The next project is Sugar Ridge Pump Station. This includes 2 new 30-inch pumps with diesel engines, sumps, and trash screens. We received bids in September last year. Lowland Construction was a low bidder. They've been on site the last month, and they're currently driving steel sheet pile and concrete piles. They've done the 2 pile bents for discharge pipe on the outside, and in the last week they've moved to the inside. They kind of had some trouble with the weather. The weather kind of floods them out. They got to pump everything out and then start all over again, but they're working through that. The next project is our La Rose boat launch. This is going to include a boat ramp, new wharves, riprap revetment along the bank line, and some parking lot improvements. This is Wallop Bro funding from the state and the feds. So we've completed all the site surveying. We've got the state permits, the local permits, and we're still working with the Army Corps of Engineers. Just recently, they asked us for more information on our engineering design of the bulkhead, which we gave that to them early this week. Hopefully that'll be the last thing, and then we'll get a permit. The next project we have is Road Sales Tax District Priority Road Improvements parish-wide. We completed an assessment of 50 streets in the worst condition that were previously prioritized. We submitted all that for DPW with a budget, and we hope to get started on that pretty soon. The next project we have is Côte Blanche Bridge rehabilitation. This includes repairs to the approaches, bridge deck, and dry docking of the bridge pontoon. We submitted a preliminary set of plans to DPW with a cost estimate that's being reviewed, and we have to get with Dylan, get back with him to discuss the scope of work and the budget for the project. The last project I have is a Choctaw Levee Mitigation Project. This is restoring part of the levee to its original condition and providing flood protection in accordance with agreed upon permits with the state and the Army Corps of Engineers. We've completed all of the field surveying. We've finalized the plans for the road construction, and we're working on finalizing the plans for the levee part of this project. Any questions?
We had questions for Joe. I got just a couple of, one I'll tell you is I had this, I routinely use the airport corridor project when people start talking about costs of things. So somebody was asking me, how was the United States able to run, I-10 from one end to the other with all this money back in the day, now they can't repair anything? And I always bring up the sound barrier, because those kind of things didn't exist back in the day. That adds tremendous amounts of cost, things that we didn't used to do. That's one of them. So I just saw the picture of it and it reminded me. That sound barrier I use on a regular basis on why things cost today versus what they used to. Second thing is,
that was a last-minute thing that
no,
made
I
us add to the
remember
project.
well. I remember well, because I remember asking the DOTD, well, do we still have to take that project over? If, why don't y'all just keep it? Y'all keep adding costs. Like, no, we'll stop the project now. The parish has to take it over when we're done, period. Yep. So they made that crystal clear. One of the things you mentioned, Wallop Bro at the Leeville, at the La Rose launch, that Wallop Bro, is going to be a Wallop Bro grant project. My question is, do y'all have a list of the restrictions or mandates when it becomes Wallop Bro, i.e. no commercial vessels, no commercial activity, or things along those lines that we can kind of get ahead of that? I remember that in Lockport when we went through that, and there was some stipulations to get that grant that you had to abide by. I don't know if those still exist and what they are, but if we could understand that ahead of time, that would be great.
They do. It's primarily for recreational use. The other stipulation they have is that you're not supposed to park there overnight.
So,
And there's no parking, not supposed to be any vessel parking along
no
the
mooring,
docks.
no mooring overnight.
Right.
So, is that spelled out somewhere that we can get that I can get a copy of?
It's spelled out in the grant. I can get you a copy of it.
That would be great. I appreciate it, because we used to have a big sign in Lockport, and hurricanes knocked it down. It doesn't even reference a Wallop-Borough anymore, but that was a Wallop-Borough project that funded.
Yes.
Good. All right, thank you, Joe. Much appreciated. Do we have any other engineers and or architects?
Mr. Daniels got it.
Oh, no, okay, he wasn't pressed. Give me 1 second, Daniel. Okay.
I just want to ask Joe, how much over is the airport corridor bridge? It should have been done,
Time-wise, it was supposed to be done on September the 19th of 2024.
so they're going to probably be almost a year over.
It'll be
Give or take.
9, 10 months.
But they're doing good. Can you come do the Golden Meadow Bridge? That was only 3 years in November.
The quality of the work, the workmanship is really good. And even though the machinery has held up their progress, the quality of the construction of the machinery is really good also. But it's just taking time.
One more thing. Golden Meadow's been trying to get 2-3 streets fixed for the last 2 years, and they're in the taxing district. Are they going to have their streets on there?
I think they're part of the list that we submitted, but I don't think we finalized the list yet.
Because
Speaking for Dylan, but
it said it was supposed to be done in the last quarter, now it's the first quarter, and the first quarter is almost finished, and the last quarter is done finished of last year. I'm just saying what it says because I made their meetings.
understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Do we have any other engineer and or architects? There are none. Brings us to item F, public, sir.
All right, it's Cade Bajeron. The address is 128 Pine Street in Lavityville. All right. Good evening. As stated before, I'm Cade Bajeron. I'm originally from Gaines, and alongside of me is Miranda Danos from LaRose and Ann Morgan Simmons from Homa. We are here on behalf of Nicholls State University, specifically the Mass Communication Department. We currently hold roles on a student-led public relations campaign that is advocating and educating our generation about coastal Louisiana and the environmental threats that we face due to erosion. Our sponsor, Restore the Mississippi River Delta, has graciously provided our mass communication seniors studying public relations with professional support as well as funding to organize this campaign for our community. In addition to us three, there are 6 other students and professors who are working tirelessly to promote this new community-wide event called the Louisiana Restoration Generation Coastal Summit. The summit is aimed to open eyes and inspire high school students, college students, and the surrounding community, and make these individuals realize that we are facing extreme threats that can impact our culture, our history, and the potential for future generations to thrive here in South Louisiana. Our mission is not just to educate, it is also to inspire others to take action and to revitalize our ecosystems and our coast so we can protect our way of life that we have down here. The summit will be held on March 12th from 9 to 3 in the Cotillion Ballroom at Nicholls. We will be featuring community leaders and activists who will be on a panel discussion regarding their experiences with coastal Louisiana, as well as a student panel of Nicholls students who are striving in their career fields to make a difference on and off campus. Our summit will feature live Cajun music from the Lafourche Parish area, a Louisiana-themed lunch at the Galliano Dining Hall on campus with an included discount if you are registered. We will have raffles, a 3-panel discussion, multiple vendors, presentations, and an after-party celebration at Nicholls for the students called the Sabon Festival. On behalf of Nicholls State University's Mass Communication Program and the Louisiana's Restoration Generation campaign, we ask the Lafourche Council for your support and your attendance to help fight coastal land loss. We request that after you leave this meeting tonight, that you reflect on how your influence in this community can coincide with our mission and our goals to prepare this region for the next generations. We are extremely thankful for this opportunity to be in front of you today, and we also have flyers for each one of you to help spread our message and our event details. If we can advocate and educate as many people as possible, you can be ensured that the future of this parish will be in good hands going forth, with young adults who are ready to tackle one of America's biggest environmental threats. Thank you.
Very good. Anyone has any questions? Either one of y'all want to make a comment? No? Y'all good? Yes, absolutely. Go ahead. Just
Okay.
state your name. I know he mentioned, but if you don't mind, just state your name.
My name is Miranda Danos. I'm from LaRose, Louisiana. Some of you may know my father, Matt Danos. He's pretty popular. But this event's pretty important for us because, you know, we all live on this bayou, and it's very imperative that we protect this land, not just for us, but for generations in the future. Because I'm sure you want your grandkids and your great-grandkids to see all of the beautiful culture that we have to offer. So I just really hope that you all take part in this event with us, and yeah, thank you.
Well said. Mr. Araby, would you like to address them? Go ahead. You have the floor, sir.
I just want to thank y'all for taking time to come out here and present this to us, and appreciate everything y'all doing for us. It's good to see that we got some young generations that interested in trying to help us all out with our coast, because y'all are the one that's going to be experiencing it. You know, if we don't do something now, y'all might have water in your backyard. So again, thank y'all for coming, and I appreciate y'all interest in what y'all doing.
And that's going to be the Louisiana's Restoration Generation Coastal Summit at Nichols, March 12th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., which is a Wednesday. If someone wanted to go online and find out information, is there a place they can?
Yes, we have a link on the mass communication website at Nichols. We also have on our flyers a QR code, so you scan it and it brings you directly to the registration form.
Very good. Thank y'all very much. You can just drop it off by the parish president in the corner. Thank y'all.
And I think, wasn't it, I'm trying, because I registered to go. So I'm trying to remember, was it on Facebook also? Did y'all do something? So it's actually on
At the end of the meeting, if you can find out whatever it is, when we go to discussion, if you could just reiterate it.
I'll look that up.
That'd be
and then
great.
I can pass it on.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, next up, Mr. Shane Pate. Just remember, Shane, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes, sir.
My name's Shane Pate, address is 153 West 118th Street, known as the screwed up street in the parish. I'm here to see the new faces on the council, because last time I was here, it was different people. I got papers here to show everybody what I'm talking about. They built the street on our property, and it's been like this for years. And we want to get it fixed. And you know, I'm not here just to come screaming and hollering. We only want what's ours. We don't want what's not ours. The street, that's my property line. It was built on the, I lose 12 feet of property. The further it goes down the street, the third house in the back loses 40 feet. The second page, I got my land surveyed. Second page is the ditch. So I asked the guy, PCOla guy, why this line is straight, but my property on the backside is on an angle. Well, he gets in his truck and he leaves. He comes back 3 hours later. I asked him, why is it straight? He gets out of the truck and says, sir, you need an attorney. He said, you see that line, straight line I made? He says, that's the right-of-way. They digging your ditch on the wrong side of the right-of-way. So they just dug it a month ago. I followed the truck to Golden Meadow, dumped my dirt on the buyer side in Golden Meadow. Why is this not getting fixed? You know, the other council made the neighbor go to court. They lost in court. Why it even has to go to court? If somebody makes a mistake, you don't think you should, like, address it? You know, because enough's enough. We losing land. The poor lady in back the street's losing 40 feet of land. I'm here to give you all these papers, and I would invite every one of y'all. Mr. Lorraine came today, and I invited Ms. Deline to come. I would invite every one of y'all to come and look. Okay, you know, you correct me if I'm wrong, but no doubt in my mind, if this street would be any one of y'all's street, it would have been fixed already. I just have that feeling. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, and enough's enough. And all I'm really asking for is not for him to tear down the street. I would want them to so we could get our property. Because every year I get my tax paper, it says that I own 150 feet, but I don't. I just want them to put culverts in this ditch to make my property go up to the street. They don't want to do that either. But I'm seeing they went down one street, put culverts all around. They went in front of my 3rd Street, put cement and everything by business. I pay taxes just like everybody else does in this parish. Everything I buy got taxes. If you want, I can hand y'all, each one of y'all out and y'all can look at it. But I would greatly appreciate it if I could get almost everybody to come look at it and just be aware of what's going on, and not just this guy in my district knows what's going on, because he knows what's going on. It's just nothing getting done. So I would like all the new faces to see what's going on. You know, we don't want what's not ours. We want what's ours, what we paid for and what's ours. And actually, the guy who fixed the street just left from here. And he charged me. I called police on. They came back on the phone, said they wouldn't touch this street with a 10-foot pole. So I called PCL. Oh, I want $1,000. Well, he kind of stayed dumbfounded when I pulled $1,000 out and I paid it. And when I pulled up, he was going to make me a straight line. And I said, sir, that don't seem right. I went back and I told him if he didn't put my 4 corners, I wanted my money back. So when I came back, that's the property line, middle of the street. My corner of my property goes in front the mailbox across the street. That's not right. I'm just here to ask y'all, see if y'all can help us out. And I'm not just speaking for me. There's my house and there's 2 other houses. The further it goes back, the further it gets. I'm losing 12 feet, the lady in the back losing 40. Her property is across the street into somebody's house. That's not right. You know, every time I made a mistake, which I did quite a few times, I had to go to court, had to pay a lawyer, had to pay court fee. They made a mistake. Make it right. Just make it right. That's all I ask for me and the 2 neighbors.
So Shane, if you want that information you have there, I can enter it officially into the official minutes if you give me a copy of it.
I got a copy for.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. If you want to disseminate, that'd be great.
The property line of the street. The second one's the right of way for the ditch that they're digging on the wrong side.
All right.
And you know, like, I had warned them not to take my dirt. Well, they just done it about a month ago. Followed the truck to Golden Meadow, dumped on the buyer side in Golden Meadow.
All right. Does the administration have any comments on this? Aware of it? Okay, so maybe we can get with the administration to look into it and we can get some feedback. All right.
You know,
so we get this
really
into the official minutes.
Being the 2 neighbors, you know, we losing land, and what fuels me the most is every year we get a tax paper, but it says I own this much property. I don't, but I still got to pay the taxes on it.
Yeah, well,
That
to be honest, all the streets pretty much in this parish are not owned by the parish. We have right-of-ways. People pay taxes on that street that has a right-of-way across it. That's throughout the whole parish. In other words, I own a lot of land.
Well, that's a shame. Only one side.
I'm just telling you the truth. I'm being honest with you.
One side the street gave the right-of-way, the other side did. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with yours, and it doesn't sound like the administration is, so they're going to look into it as well. We'll get some feedback.
Mr. Shasta, you want a copy? No, we don't want one.
All right. Yeah, they'll look into it. This is the first we hear it, so they're going to look into it.
Well, I knew some people knew about it, but I know the new faces probably not aware of it, and
Yeah.
I would just appreciate if they would address it.
All right, we'll see if we can get some
Hey,
information
I
back
didn't
to
have
you.
to tear down the street. I'd have been satisfied with culverts.
Thank you, partner. Appreciate it, Shane. All right. Yeah, Dylan will get you information. Y'all can go back and forth. Oh, Daniel, hold on. Daniel just pressed his light. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, what he's saying is true. It's been a troubled street. I represent that district now, but when the street was paved, it wasn't my district at the time. But there is after they did all the surveying, there is a big difference of where that property goes. What he's telling you the truth if you go look at it. And he's got it in black and white.
Yeah, well, once again, that's on DPW. I mean, I can't verify right-of-ways. We definitely need DPW to look at it. So he's
No,
with the right.
understand that,
He's
but
definitely
I'm
with the
just-
right person right there. He's with the right guy.
I'm just saying what the man was saying, he's saying the truth because he got it surveyed. Aren't the surveyors always right? Surveyors?
All right. Do we have anyone else that wants to address the council? Anyone else from the public wants to address the council? Got everyone? All right. So we'll move right into item G, approval of minutes. Item 2, motion to accept the minutes of the February 11, 2025 regular session. I'll entertain a motion. So moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There be none. We'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, that absence being Mr. Adams. Brings us to item H, executive session. I'll not entertain a motion to enter executive session for the following: LARS 4217A2, discussion on settlement regarding the following litigation. Number 3, Cortez versus Lafourche Parish Government, docket number 23-05703, Office of Workers' Compensation, District 8, which was 010 for the administration, but can I get a motion and a second? Motion by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Brumfield. Before I bring it to vote, can you tell us, Mr. President, who will be in that meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the entire council, myself, the parish administrator, and Ms. Jennifer Frederickson from LOCA.
All right, very good. We got a motion on the floor. Any discussion on that? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Adams. So we'll be in executive session for hopefully only a few minutes, and then we'll reconvene the meeting in a minute. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Now entertain a motion to take any necessary action, if any, regarding the matters discussed in executive session. So moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Which brings us to item I, action from executive session. Number 4, resolution authorizing the Lafourche Parish Council to approve the settlement of Cortez versus Lafourche Parish Government, docket number 23-05703, in the amount of as agreed upon in executive session on behalf of Lafourche Parish Government, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Brumfield. Any discussion on that resolution? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. That brings us to item J, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. I'll now entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Number 5, ordinance to rescind ordinance number 7004, which designated 2 90-gallon green garbage cans to be placed at the Theogene Melanson Leeville boat launch. Excuse me. Moved by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Melvin. Would anyone from the public like to comment on ordinance at number 5? Excuse me. Second call, public input for the ordinance at number 5. Last and final call. Anyone from the public would like to comment on the ordinance at number 5? Anyone from the council? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor.
Yeah, I just want to say for 8 months I tried to get garbage cans parish-wide. I was unsuccessful. I tried to get them in Leeville. I was unsuccessful. So if you want some garbage cans at the boat launches, just contact the administration.
Thank you, Mr. Lorraine. Any further discussion? There be none. We'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item number 6, ordinance accepting the subdivision known as Indy Lee Mere Fort Public Subdivision into the parish system. Moved by Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 6? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 6. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 6? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 7, ordinance accepting the subdivision known as a settlement at Live Oak Phase 4 into the parish system. Moved by Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 7? Second call, public input, the ordinance at number 7. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. I now entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Brumfield, seconded by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Mr. Perk, item K, proposed ordinances, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 8, proposed ordinance approving a lease agreement between Landmark Outdoors LLC and Lafourche Parish Government at 206 Green Street, Suite B and Suite C, Thibodaux, Louisiana, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Chairman Otam for administration. Number 9, proposed ordinance providing for a 2025 supplemental appropriation. Number 25-001 within the 2025 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget for various grants, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Chairman Otam for the administration. Number 10, proposed ordinance granting a variance from Lafourche Parish subdivision regulations from not constructing the entire proposed cross street to be known as Fatima Street and the proposed St. Mary's Place Phase 2 as not recommended by the Lafourche Parish Planning Commission at their January 29, 2025 meeting. Councilman Melvin for administration. Number 11, proposed ordinance accepting the subdivision known as the Hernandez subdivision into the parish system. Councilman Brumfield for administration. Number 12, proposed ordinance amending and reenacting Chapter 32 of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances as it pertains to solid waste and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Councilman Pierce for administration. 13, proposed ordinance providing for a 2025 supplemental appropriation 25-002 within the 2025 operations and maintenance budget for the LA 3266 LA 308-40 Arpent Road Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Chairman Otam for the administration. Number 14, proposed ordinance amending ordinance number 7005 that adopted the 2025 operations and maintenance budget and capital budget for the Lafourche Parish Council, as well as setting the salaries of unclassified employees as provided for by Article 5 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Council Member Chasson for administration. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perk. Brings us to item L, resolutions. Number 15, resolution to remove 1 member from the Lafourche Parish Recreation District Number 11 Board at the request of the board, and to also request administration to advertise for the vacancy accordingly. Mr. Pierce, can I get a second? Second by Mr. Melvin. Any discussion on item 15? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 16, resolution approving change order number 1 for the project titled Lockport Community Center Ballpark, decreasing the contract price by $472,638, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine.
Yeah, what's the reason why it's so much? I mean, I've seen 50,000, 100,000. Are they cutting you back?
Because we thought we had $1.2 million for this project, so when it advertised, it went out as, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was $1.2 million. In reality, the calculation wasn't made for the soft costs, and so that was a shortfall, so we had to cut stuff out the project, and also the Recreation District had to put up 100, so we ended up $470-something thousand less, but we're actually getting less. It's not like it's just a decrease. We're physically getting less stuff, too.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying now, but it just got my attention because usually you get 25, 30,000, very rare 100.
Yeah.
And here you got almost $500,000.
It was heartbreaking. And we had to wait for the state to approve that we remove bleachers, and we had to remove a lot of stuff from the project. Very heartbreaking after waiting for 30 years, but we'll have to find that money somewhere down the road because we had to move with the rest of the project. Yep.
It just caught my eye. No big deal.
No, look, I got phone calls today on this very issue, so I get it. Very good. I said it correct, Mr. President? Yep, okay, thank you. With that said, if there's no further discussion, we'll bring it to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 17, resolution approving an engagement letter with the Arbitrage Group Incorporated for services regarding the calculation of arbitrage earnings for the bond series Road Sales Tax District Number 2 of the Parish of Lafourche and Consolidated Sales Tax District A of the Parish of Lafourche, and authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? No discussion. We'll bring it to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Rachel, I'm just checking in. You good with everything? We're still good? Okay. That was a tongue twister for me. Item 18, resolution approving change order number 1 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Repair Renovations, Sheriff's Office Interior, increasing the contract price by $10,143.67 and authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Brumfield. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That 1 absence being Councilman Adams. Item 19, resolution approving agreement with Environmental Systems Research Institute Incorporated, ESRI, for term license software for Geographic Information Systems, GIS technology, and authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Brumfield. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 20, resolution approving the commitment of required funds for capital outlay project titled Butch Hill Pump Station Replacement, Planning and Construction, FP&C, project number 50-J29-22-01, authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Mr. Araby on behalf of the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed. And authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Melvin on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? I would just mention that that date is April 12th of this year here from 8 a.m. to noon. No discussion. We'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 22, resolution accepting the low bid of Volute Incorporated in the amount of $1,566,421 for the project titled Eunice Alamo Pump Station Rehabilitation, and authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any all relevant documents. Ms. Chesson for the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 23, resolution accepting the bid of Freetown Builders LLC in the amount of $1,205,000 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Repairs, Lafourche Parish Government Complex Phase 2 Buildback, and authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 24, resolution accepting the quote from A&G Refrigeration in the amount of $76,619 for the project titled Thibodeau Health Unit Chiller, and authorizing the Parish President to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Brumfield. Any discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Item 25, resolution reappointing 1 member on the Veterans Memorial District Ward 10 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana Board, representing post number 8538. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who you got, Mr. Lorraine?
The only applicant.
Can I get a second? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 8 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 absent, that absence being Councilman Adams. Item 25, resolution reappointing 1 member on the Item 26, resolution appointing 1 member to the Central Lafourche Ambulance Service District Board. Ms. Chesson for the administration. Who do you have, Ms. Chesson?
We have one vacancy and 2 applicants, being Angel Thibodeau and Grady Fagan. We're going to go with Grady Fagan.
She nominates Grady B. Fagan. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, that absence being Councilman Adams. Item 27, resolution appointing 1 member to the Lafourche Parish Communications District Board. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. We have Mr. Lorraine.
1 vacancy, 1 applicant, Renata Guidry.
Ms. Guidry, can I get a second? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion?
Renata.
Ms. Guidry. There being no discussion, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, that absence being Councilman Adams. Item 28, resolution reappointing 1 member on the Terrebonne Parish Fire Protection District Number 6 Board. Mr. Pierce for the administration. And Mr. Pierce, if you could press your button. Who do you have, Mr. Pierce?
We got 1 applicant and 1 vacancy, 1 reappointment, and Mr. Demi Nakan.
Mr. Nakan, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 absence, that absence being Councilman Adams. Item 29, resolution reappointing 1 member on the Fire Protection District Number 8-B Board. Mr. Perk, on behalf of the administration, who do you have, Mr. Perk?
Mr. Chairman, we have 1 vacancy, 1 reappointment, Stacy Sanchez.
Ms. Sanchez, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, that absence being Councilman Adams. Number 30, resolution reappointing 1 member to the Drainage District Number 1 Board. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Lorraine?
1 vacancy and William Avera, reappointed.
Can I get a second? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams. Brings us to item M, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers' Reports, Presentations, and or updates. Number 31, Finance Representative to present the monthly financial report as required by the state agreed upon procedures for January 2025. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll turn it over to Ms. Jackson. She has the quarterly report for you guys for the end of 2024.
Okay, Renita, I got you live.
Okay, royalty in the 4th quarter of 2024, LPG has received $246,540.07. In 2024, the 4th quarter shows a decrease of $257,519.69, which is a 51.09% decrease compared to the 4th quarter in 2023, and the year-end shows an overall decrease of $213,275.17, which ends with an 11.87 decrease over 2023. Okay. Road Sales Tax District, the Consolidated Road Sales Tax District revenue. In the 4th quarter of 2024, LPG has received $1,809,777.59. In 2024, the 4th quarter shows an increase of $187,442.15, a 10.36% increase compared to the 4th quarter of 2023. Road Sales Tax District A, this is the old District A revenue account. In the fourth quarter of 2024, LPG has received $7,554.35. It ends with the year of $294,583.52. Road Sales Tax District 2, in the fourth quarter of 2024, LPG has received $70,408.96, ending the year at $100,540.31. Solid Waste. In the fourth quarter of 2024, we received $1,224,968.34. Our overall year end is $579,490.46. Parish Transportation. In the fourth quarter of 2024, LPG has received $154,949.11. In 2024, the fourth quarter shows an increase of $57,597.24, a 38.17% increase compared to the fourth quarter of 2023. And the year-end shows a overall decrease in parish transportation of $167,740.46, which is a 22.37% decrease of 2023. The general fund. The ending balance of 2024 as of to date of December 31st is $2,216,248.34. In lieu of mill fund, that is the new revenue account for roads and drainage. Our ending balance is $1,867,773.03. All of our entries are not complete as of date, so it's showing a deficit, but we should be able to do some additional entries that's not reflected as of today. Library fund. Their ending balance is $7,728,918.15. Solid waste ending balance is $6,951,362.14. Royalty. Royalty ending balance as of December 31st is $2,948,377.74. This is the chart for the comparison for parish transportation for 2022, 2023, and 2024. The gray is reflection of 2024 in comparison to the other 2 years. And the final chart is our road sales tax, and the chart for is in pink that represents 2024 in comparison to 2022 and 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Renita. Does anyone have any questions of Renita? No one has pressed their button, so thank you, Renita. All right, brings us to item N, questions for the administration. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor first, sir.
Yes, real quick, I know we discussed it before, but
for the benefit of the folks who may be tuning in. The timeline on the 40 Orphan Bridge on St. Charles Bypass, that's the first question. Also, I'll get with Dale and I'll email you. I emailed him today about a project on another street back at 12 Cedars. I think those are my two questions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Melvin. One of the questions, if you want to add it, Mr. President, is if there's an update to City Place. And it looks like no one else has any questions for the administration, so if y'all have answers, I will recognize you. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you guys are going to see, I think, on the next agenda, the agreement for the engineer and stuff like that to take care of the bridge. The notice to proceed for the contractor is going to be issued as of March the 10th. He's already been able to start ordering materials under some conditional notices, and we think in 30 to 45 days probably for him to knock it out. I think the total contract is going to say 60, but it's going to be much quicker than that. And then, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to kick it to Mitch about City Place, if I can.
All right, Mr. Administrator, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was on a call actually last Wednesday with FEMA and the folks for City Place. They were provided a notice to proceed to the contractors. They were waiting on one final approval from FEMA so we can get those buildings knocked down, and they are very well on their way in design of the new facilities.
Okay, so demo we can expect, you think?
I'm thinking within the next 30 days because they have already accepted the low bid.
Okay, it looks like somebody's razzooing stuff pretty good. I know the water district contacted me that the hydrants in there were no longer active because somebody went in there and stole all kind of plumbing stuff and whatnot, so the fire hydrants are actually inactive. So yeah,
Wow.
The sooner we can get to it, the better.
Yeah, I emphasized that we needed to get it moving, and that was one of the questions because, of course, waiting on FEMA takes forever. We were able to obtain confirmation that they can move forward.
Understood, great. All right, Dylan.
Thank you, sir. To respond to Mr. Melvin, I did see your email about 12 Cedars. I did not read what the constituents sent below you. I do plan to read that, and I'll respond to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Dylan, for that information. Brings us to item O, general discussion. Mr. President, you have the floor first, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of acknowledgments. One, to the entire community action staff. If you guys noticed, we put out some information. They received an award at the conference a couple of weeks ago. And I forgot to mention this the last meeting, that's why I'm doing it tonight. They received an award for reaching 100% on all their organizational standards, which is something that for about 2 or 3 years in a row now we've been able to do, which is a huge plus for the agency. And then as well, Ms. Allie Adams, who's the Executive Director for Community Action, received the Renee Brannon Service Award for quality service and positive change throughout the community. So that's a plus for the program as well. And then if you guys noticed, I want to give a quick shout out to Ms. Megan Champagne, who runs CZM, for pulling off an event with the NFL for Super Bowl week. The NFL coordinated NFL Green, which is service projects around the Super Bowl community, and they did a living shoreline and some marsh grass plantings around the Leeville boat launch that they put together the week of Super Bowl week. So a huge shout out to her for being able to, one, dream up that project and then get buy-in from the NFL and have over 200 volunteers in Leeville who pulled that off. I also want to recognize, I know she did her presentation tonight, but Renita and the rest of the finance staff, they received the GFOA award for another year of unqualified audits. So great work to that staff for keeping us out of trouble and making sure we're spending money in the right way, although she will say I spend too much sometimes. And then you guys noticed on her report, we talked about the downfall in royalty. If you guys have paid attention to the constitutional amendments that are coming up in a couple of weeks to be voted on, there is one about changes to severance tax and how we tax oil and gas and natural gas. Should that constitutional amendment pass, based on the information we were given by the Louisiana Revenue Department, we should see somewhere between a $5 and a $6 million uptick if that changes. So that'll give us an additional $5 or $6 million in the general fund from here on out. So no matter which way you stand on tax policy and sales tax changes and stuff like that, I would just encourage everybody to take a look at that constitutional amendment and support it, because it's going to put more money in the general fund that we could put into programs that's kind of unrestricted, right? That money goes to recreation, the animal shelter, community action, and plugs holes in different places. So just pay attention to that constitutional amendment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Anyone else have any discussion? Mr. Perk.
Yes, as it relates to the Coastal Summit, I think James is going to, they've got James that information we spoke about, so he'll probably put it on the Facebook site.
Awesome.
And then just kind of real quick, I just happened to be speaking to Miss Hillary Knight at the animal shelter, and they were kind of doing a soft moving, so trying to get things in order and see how things, I just happened to call about another issue, and she told me they were in the midst of that. So that's very encouraging. So I think we'll see something more positive in the next couple of weeks with that. Thanks.
Very good. Mr. Melvin?
Yes, on March 16th, Lafourche Crossing 308 Volunteer Fire Department is having their chicken dinner and silent auction. I invite everybody to come by if you have a chance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Melvin. And I will say that I want to just let the administration know I continue to get a lot of calls from parents who are really pleased with the Head Start program, so this is making significant impacts to those kids, so kudos to them. I also mentioned this Saturday at noon, the Lockport Mardi Gras Parade will roll promptly at noon in the town of Lockport. A nice, quiet, quaint, good outing. Please come out. Wishing everybody a safe Mardi Gras. And also, Mr. Forey told me today that the VFW Post 3665 is tentatively planning their annual crawfish ball on May 3rd. With that said, I'll now move to item P, adjournment, on motion by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Perk. And with no further business, the Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of February 25th, 2025 will be adjourned at 18:28 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Does anyone oppose? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Adams.